Hey there, Aries. Welcome. Thanks for tuning into my channel, The Fool's Journey Tarot. You are watching a general love reading for the sign of Aries for the end of the month of October. So Aries, I hope you all are doing well. I want to remind my viewers that this is a general love reading, and that means that it can apply to any kind of relationship or any kind of situation or circumstance you might be dealing with regarding your home, family, work, social circles, friends. If you can think of it, it might apply in this reading. I also want to remind you it's important to be flexible with the energy. You can interchange the roles within the reading, regardless of the gender of the cards, and that means you can be represented by any of the characters that shows up. This also means that you might feel like I'm reading for you, but you could feel like you're cross-watching. Parts of the reading may resonate for you, while other parts may not, so take what does and leave behind the rest. My intention is always to reach those that need this message and will benefit from it. So I hope that's you, Aries. I hope you enjoy the reading. I hope that you feel like you get something out of it and that it was purposeful in your life. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to give this first deck one more good shuffle, and then we'll see what's up for Aries for the end of the month of October 2020. Here we go. We're going to start off with the Knight of Pentacles in reverse, the King of Wands, Temperance, the Star, Five of Cups, the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, Page of Swords in reverse, and then we have the Six of Swords in reverse. So we have a King of Wands on the table, Aries. This could be your energy or somebody that you're dealing with. The King of Wands is typically somebody who could be in a position of leadership or a position of power, somebody who may have control, or somebody who might be in a position of making the big decisions, organizing groups of people. This could be somebody who other people look to for support and guidance. This could be a patriarch, business owner, a boss, and again, female or male. If you are an Aries, you could be this individual. You could embody this energy. But this person feels like he's stuck or he's not making any moves or unable to take action or make any moves with this Knight of Pentacles in reverse. There's some grief surrounding a situation or circumstance that maybe didn't go well or didn't go right for this person. And this King of Wands feels stuck. He feels like he can't get away from it. May not be something he wants to think about or deal with, but it's something he has to think about or deal with. So he's got some kind of grief, some kind of bad luck, something that didn't go his way, something that's not going right. And he's being forced to look at the situation and deal with it. Let's get some more cards out here and see what else we get for Aries. We have the King of Swords in reverse. And then we have the Ace of Swords. The Fool in reverse. King of Wands again. The Five of Pentacles in reverse. The Page of Swords again in reverse. Ten of Pentacles in reverse. And then we have the King of Cups in reverse. So we have 3 kings out here, 4 if you count the King of Wands, which has already showed up twice. Couple of pages. This could potentially apply to a family situation or group dynamic. This could be the Ten of Pentacles here could indicate this group dynamic or group of people, possibly that this King of Wands is responsible for, or somebody who's, again, in a position of power, who might be the head of an organization, someone who makes decisions for others. There's something, though, that has gone wrong within this group dynamic, and I think this King of Wands feels responsible for doing something about it, or taking action, or making some kind of decision or a move. But I don't feel like I think he's clear. I think he has a clear understanding of what went wrong or what the circumstances are, but I don't feel like he's necessarily relishing the idea of having to be the one in this particular circumstance of having to deal with the situation. I think all of these kings are the same person. So there's this air of responsibility. I think this king understands that there's some kind of responsibility that he has with regard to something that's gone awry or something that's gone wrong within a group or family dynamic. But he doesn't want to be the one to accept responsibility. In fact, he doesn't really even want to face this. He doesn't want to talk about it. I don't feel like he's ready to, or feels like he can take action right now. That might be part of the reason why he's not communicating about the situation, because he doesn't feel like he has any power right now to make any moves or make any decisions. But I also feel for some reason there's an emotional factor to this. So there could have been some kind of, again, if this is a family dynamic, there could have been some kind of emotional element to the situation that this King of Wands is dealing with. And it's uncomfortable, unpleasant, something I don't think that he wants to think about. Maybe something he's tried to avoid because of this emotional effect it's having on him. I think something in him, it could be his intuition, it could be maybe he's receiving some guidance from some associates or higher up, or somebody he looks up to. But I get the feeling like it could just be his own instincts that he's feeling like he needs to kind of step back for now and evaluate the situation. Because I think he's clear. I think he understands what's going on or what's gone wrong, but I don't think he knows what steps to take next. This might make him feel uncomfortable, because this could be the type of person that's not used to not knowing what to do, or not knowing how to react, or not knowing what decision to make. It feels like the type of person that would typically be able to accept the responsibility and the challenge of just about anything. But then again, there's this emotional factor tied to this. So whatever this is, it could be the emotional factor that's keeping him from making progress right now or making any moves. Let's get some more cards out on the table for Aries and see what else we get. Two of Swords in reverse. Justice in reverse. Knight of Pentacles in reverse again. The World in reverse. Ten of Cups in reverse. The Five of Cups again. The Hermit in reverse. And the Four of Pentacles in reverse. Okay, so I'm not getting much more in the way of details just yet, but kind of confirming what I'm seeing so far is that this king is having to face something that feels emotionally taxing to him. Again, this could be a family dynamic. I think that he feels responsible, at least for something that's gone wrong within a group dynamic. He could be responsible for the people that are affected, for example, if it's not a family situation. But it's not something he is typically... I mean, the King of Wands is not somebody who's typically going to shy away from something that's challenging, even emotionally challenging, because this is the type of person that can handle that kind of thing. But whatever he's dealing with right now is something a little bit out of the ordinary. And it could be that he's a little bit afraid to make a decision right now. So he's not. And not only is he not taking any action or making any decisions, but he's also not talking about it. If he is talking about it, he could be avoiding the issue. He could be kind of holding some information to himself if other people are questioning him or having conversations. It just feels like there's this reluctance to talk about this thing that I think this person feels responsible for. If he's not actually responsible for whatever occurred or whatever went wrong, then I think he feels responsible for fixing it. And for some reason, he's in this alone. It could be because of his level of information or what he knows about the situation, but I feel like he feels like he's in this alone. It's possible that he also feels if he could detach from the emotional factor of the situation, if he could detach from feeling emotional or reacting emotionally about the situation, then he might be able to make some moves. In other words, he might be having a hard time making a head over heart decision. And that might be why he's unable to act right now, because I think he's afraid that he may make the wrong decision or take the wrong action. But there's also the sense with the Temperance card and the Star card coming out here, there's some kind of sense of that everything's going to be okay. He is a very intelligent person, so he's taking a step back and being cautious and not making any moves when you're in this position of feeling a little bit vulnerable or not feeling ready or not feeling capable. That's a good time to take a step back, reevaluate what's going on, and try to figure out what the best move is. So I think that's what this king is doing. But there is also the sense that he might not see a reasonable or just solution to the situation. In other words, this could be a situation where he has put a lot of thought into this. He is clear about the matter. He is understanding maybe what the next steps are. Maybe he's just reluctant to do it because he doesn't feel like there's some kind of just resolution or outcome attached to whatever decision he ultimately will make or whatever decisions he ultimately will make. Let's get this next set of cards out for Aries and see what else we get. I'd like to know more about the situation that this king is working through. We have the Hangman in reverse. the Magician in reverse. Four of Cups in reverse. Six of Pentacles. Nine of Swords in reverse. Justice in reverse again. Ace of Cups in reverse. And Three of Pentacles. Okay, so this could be a workplace or job situation. So here's what I've got from this set of cards, Aries. This king is up against something that feels very uncomfortable. It feels like a situation, I don't know that he necessarily caused or created the situation that he's in, but he's having to deal with it. I'm not sure he feels like he has the tools or the resources or the ability to deal with this situation that he is looking at. And it's got him feeling like no matter what he does, it's not going to be the right thing. Or it's going to end up in causing another problem or negative reaction or negative outcome. Whatever he does, it's not going to necessarily fix the problem. It might just put a band-aid on the problem, or it might just, kick the can down the road a little bit, postpone whatever needs to happen, whatever needs to occur. But I feel like he doesn't necessarily feel equipped or capable or able to make a good decision or take action, whatever that looks like for him. So this could be for some of you out there. This could be a situation where if this king were to act right now or make some kind of decision regarding the situation that he's in, he could throw some money at it, for example, and put a band-aid on it. So there is the sense that, well, if I just invest this amount of money, or if I buy this, or if I make this move which is going to cost this much money or require this amount of resources, there's something about making a decision which requires something tangible or will cost something, but ultimately it's not going to solve the situation or resolve the situation. It would just be a solution in the moment kind of thing. It would be a temporary fix. And again, to me, with the Pentacles coming out, this could be a job situation. This could be a financial situation for this king. But I feel like it's possible, too, he's done this in the past where, well, let's just throw this amount of resources at this problem, or let's just hire this person. But it's like putting a band-aid on a situation putting a band-aid on a wound that won't heal unless it's dressed properly, dressed properly. So again, I get this emotional factor attached to the situation. So this could potentially be affecting a relationship within a group dynamic or a relationship that this king has. This could be someone who's personally tied to this king, who is the reason behind whatever this king is dealing with. And again, I get the sense, too, that it could be a workplace situation, or these could be coworkers, colleagues, business partners. Whatever he's dealing with is tied to somebody. and it feels like it's tied to somebody that he is emotionally attached to or close to. And I think that's part of the reason why he is solely responsible for dealing with this. In other words, he might have people around him who typically might accept some responsibility for a situation like this, but for some reason it feels like it rests solely on his shoulders. Let's get this last round out for Aries and see what else we get. Page of Pentacles in reverse. Six of Swords again in reverse. Three of Cups. Knight of Wands. Three of Swords. Six of Cups in reverse. Sun in reverse. And then we have the King of Swords again, this time in the upright position. Okay, this is interesting. It's interesting because it feels like the message is becoming more simplified with more cards. Whereas typically I get a story started and then as more cards come out, I get more details and it becomes a little more complicated. With the additional cards that came out, the situation became more clear and more simplified. I hope that makes sense. So here's what I've got. This King of Wands is dealing with the situation, and this could be familiar to this King of Wands. It could be a situation he's dealt with in the past or he's familiar with. I think he's tied to somebody who caused a problem or caused some kind of situation that this king is having to deal with to resolve. And the reason he's the one who has to deal with the situation is because he's tied to the individual who caused the problem. And he's considering throwing money at the problem. And when I say money, this could be in the form of resources, hiring somebody to deal with it. It could be he's going to, if somebody got him in trouble and he's having to pay a fine or, a judgment that didn't go in his favor. So maybe he's having, whatever, dealing with lawyers or that kind of thing. But he's having to deal with the situation because of somebody tied to him that's close to him that's caused him some grief. Thrown a roadblock in his way caused him to have to deal with something that he's not responsible for, but he's having to take responsibility for it. It's affected more than just him. It feels like it's affected a group of people, group dynamic. Again, this could be a workplace or family situation. There's the sense that he knows more than other people know. So in other words, he has information that other people have. I'm not sure if this is well known, if other people realize how much in the know this King of Wands is, but he is in the know. He doesn't necessarily want to be in the know. I don't think he feels comfortable being in the know because I think he'd rather say, you know what, I don't know what's going on. I can't deal with this problem. Sorry, it's not on me. But he knows. And that's due to the fact that he's tied to the situation or person that caused the problem. It could be that part of his way of dealing with this, at least for the time being, is that he isn't communicating or isn't talking or isn't explaining what's going on. He's kind of avoiding that. And it could also be that, at least at this point in time, maybe everybody's not totally clear about the situation or the circumstances. So they aren't necessarily looking directly at this King of Wands to make a decision or solve the problem just yet. I think that once people are clear about what's going on, that will be expected of him. So he might be buying himself time by not communicating, by not explaining, by not talking to others about the situation, in order to, it feels like in order to postpone the inevitable, if I'm being honest. There's some kind of uncomfortable thing that this king doesn't want to face right now. And again, it could be that someone close to him turned on him. It feels like there's some kind of maybe betrayal, some kind of grief or issues or problems caused by somebody that he's close to. So he's emotionally affected by the situation. I think that at this point in time, this king could be working on trying to emotionally detach from the situation so that he can make a head over heart decision or move forward feeling a little bit more neutral about whatever's going on so that he doesn't make a mistake because he's emotionally attached to whatever actions need to be taken or decisions that need to be made, that sort of thing. So it feels right now like this is a situation where this King of Wands is kind of staying put. He's not making any moves. He's not talking much. He's not communicating because it feels like he's in waiting, or he's mulling over the situation, trying to figure out the best approach, the best action to take, when the timing will be right. Does he need to make some kind of interim decision where there's a temporary fix? Maybe a temporary fix is in order, and by that I mean, throwing some money at the situation or hiring somebody else to deal with it until he can feel more comfortable making a more permanent move or decision. So this is a reading for somebody who is not making progress. Might be seeking answers or waiting for a green light, waiting to feel it out, wait for the right moment so that he doesn't screw it up. And again, I don't necessarily feel like this king is responsible for screwing something up. It feels like he's responsible for fixing something that was screwed up by somebody else that he's tied to. I mean, that's the short version of the reading. He has to fix something that somebody else caused because he's tied to that person, not because he's responsible for the problem or the issue. So let's get a card for Aries and wrap this reading up. Maybe we'll get some more information. Maybe we'll get some advice. I think that, if you're watching this reading, Aries, it could be that you're looking for some advice. I would be. And advice in the form of what's the lesser of two evils? In other words, I know that this is a shitty situation. I'm not quite sure how to respond or what to do. So just give me the solution that's going to hurt the least. That's what it feels like to me. And maybe if that's, these cards are not cooperating. Maybe if that's the circumstance this King of Wands is in, maybe it's a good thing he's not making any moves right now. Because should you have to pick a direction or make a choice where it's going to, I'm going to take this card. You know it's going to hurt anyway, or it's going to cause problems anyway, but you know you have to do something. You have to take action or make a decision now. Why? So maybe there is some, indication that something's telling him to just lay low right now and give it some time and see what happens. It doesn't feel like it feels like he's avoiding making a move or making a decision, but at the same time, it's not like he's avoiding, it's not like he's not going to make a decision or take an action. I think he knows he has to eventually, so it's not like he's going to avoid it forever. So we have the 8 of water that came out in reverse. I haven't pulled this card in a while. The 8 of water, I think, there's some similarities to it in the Streams of Gaia tarot deck. The 8 of water in reverse could indicate a need to return to an emotional situation, or a connection or a relationship, needing to reevaluate or readdress something that's tied to the emotions, or something that has an emotional effect on you. So 8 of water in reverse indicates it's a potential blockage. This is about a half a page long. When I looked at the time, it said 31:31. I like synchronicities, especially in my numbers. So anyway, just thought I'd notice and mention that. So let's go ahead and read this. It's about a half a page, and I'll display the card for you in the upright areas. Okay, here we go. The 8 of water reversed symbolizes a lack of appreciation that may be married with an unhealthy desire for more that manifests in feelings of avarice and covetousness. Avarice and covetousness. I don't know if I've ever had so much trouble saying a couple of words. I'm going to show them to you because they don't look like they should be that hard, but I'm having issues. Avarice, and I need to look up avarice because I don't even know if that... avarice and covetousness. Anyway, if I said those wrong, leave me a message in the comments. Okay, so here we go. To covet what others have, believing that more will bring happiness, power, wealth, is a state of mind and being that has brought down kingdoms and founded new ones in their rubble. In other words, feeling greedy. What about keeping up with the Joneses? If we do not appreciate what we have in our life now and are unable to see the abundance that surrounds us, why would our feelings change with more money, a new car, house, or relationship? Yes, the quality of our experiences might change, but if we take little joy from our present experiences, the love of family and friends we already enjoy, and the abundance that surrounds us, it is unlikely that our feelings will change just because our financial status allows us to do or buy more. An emotional or spiritual lack cannot be assuaged by possessions. The 8 of water reversed represents a need to question the desire for more. When more is not truly necessary, ask yourself when this card appears if there is an emotional, physical, or intellectual or spiritual lack that needs to be addressed. Well, as simple as this message was, not the words weren't simple, but the message was simple. I think that it actually adds to the reading a little bit, Aries. It feels to me like this card is indicating that this king hasn't made any moves yet because he could be dealing with someone who is represented by this message, where they feel the need to have more or to keep up with the Joneses or feel envious of someone who has a better car than them or whatever the case may be, because I got the feeling early on that this king was throwing resources, throwing money, throwing somebody else's, abilities or talent at the situation in order to solve the problem. And this King of Wands knows it's not going to solve the problem because this has more to do with possibly an emotional issue or some kind of connection or attachment, or spiritual issue. This isn't about throwing money at a problem and watching it dissipate or go away, because it doesn't work that way. So long story short, and before I start to ramble and make this more complicated than it needs to be, Aries, I think this King of Wands is seeing that there is a more significant root of the problem here, and he can't just throw money at something and make it better. And maybe something that he's done in the past, or maybe something that he's tried in the past. But again, I get the feeling like he's tied to a connection that might be expecting that. And this king might be reluctant to embrace that solution because he knows it's not a real solution. So Aries, I'm going to leave that here. I hope this reading was helpful. I hope that it was enjoyable to you. Thanks so much for watching. If it did resonate, please like, share, subscribe. If you feel like leaving a comment, that's always great too, especially if you if you can pronounce those words or help me out with them. So thanks again for watching, Aries, and I'll see you next time. Bye.